This update has been live for less than 12 hours as of the time of me recording this, and ever since then, non-stop, people have been using some of the last free MVP Bronze Megas they were ever going to get to endlessly spam the chat with so many repeated questions. How do I get to Ursus? How do I open my daily planner? Where do I accept my dailies? How do I beat the Savage Beastfly? Wait, this isn't Silk Song. And perhaps most urgently, how do I feed my octopus? So first, let's start with feeding your octopus. Once you accept that thing from the event hall and you actually use one of the 3 octopus egg ball things in your inventory and you start to feed an octopus, you need to kill mobs to actually be able to feed it. Once the bar fills up and you can actually feed your octopus, you need to hold your NPC interact key to feed your octopus. If you are not quick enough and that prompt goes away, you still can feed your octopus, you just need to click and hold the button. Now I'm putting a lot of emphasis on the word hold there because that's the key missing ingredient that a lot of people are missing. Next, where is your daily planner? Apparently a lot of people access the daily planner through some kind of UI on the left side of your screen, which I didn't know people were doing that. I always used the hotkey. Now if you want to use the hotkey method like me, you can. You go into your key bindings and one of the yellow buttons, the planner button, that is your daily planner where all your dailies and your weekly bosses and everything you want to put there is. However, if you would instead like a clickable button that apparently existed before without me knowing, you can still do that. You go to the quick UI menu, which happens when you press escape, go to edit, click all characters so you edit all your characters at once, and put whatever things you want from this giant menu on this quick bar. That will always be on your screen at all times, and you can put a lot of useful things there. The character swap button, your hexamatrix, the planner, you name it, you can put it on there. Next question, how do I get to Ursus now? Now what you want to do is you want to press the guide button, which hopefully you have bound on your keyboard somewhere, hit the special content tab, and there you will find Ursus along with a bunch of other content that is mostly obsolete. Next up, how do I claim my boss reward points? Hit escape to open the giant menu, look to the right, you will find a button called boss reward points. Unsurprisingly and amazingly, you hit that button to claim your boss reward points. And now I'm just going to throw in some things that maybe people missed in the patch notes or people didn't quite realize. Your pet ignore item lists now go up to 30 and the UI to add them is so much better than it was before. You can now extract items in any town. You don't have to go to Ardent Mill. If you're a wind archer and you want to resummon your big tornadoes, you have to hold the regular attack button and then repress the tornado button or howling gale, whatever you want to call it. If you're a pirate that has rolled the dice, you can now put that on your auto buff. If you're a buccaneer who doesn't have the room in their auto buff to fit roll the dice, you can actually just pair it up with Pirate's Banner. Given that it has no cooldown anymore, put your decent speed infusion on there as well. You'll always be able to see the cooldown of your roll the dice, and since you're always using Pirate Banner anyway, it will keep up pretty much all the time. If you're a Cygnus Knight, remember to right click your Phalanx charge in your skill book, that way it stays stationary whenever you cast it. Pressing the button again makes it act as it did before this patch. The generic 5th job bind Urda Nova can now be cast in the middle of any action that isn't an origin skill. This means that it's honestly better than pretty much every class bind in the game unless it has a special property like Kana's. So I was already pretty sold on the idea that Urda Nova is just generally better than most class binds just already. But now with this change, I would say everybody should probably just be using Urda Nova, with the only caveat now that since every class is a 2-minute class except Lin and Mo Xuan right now, it's just better to use Urda Nova. It might take some investment, but given that it can only be cast when an enemy is around, so it's basically fail-proof, except unless the fight has ads, but the fact that you don't have to interrupt whatever you're doing to cast it, that's honestly pretty great. If you mouse over an equipment tooltip and you press your NPC interact key, it will show a breakdown of the flame, allowing you to show the tiers, and your potential lines will now show whether they are prime or not, in case you didn't know. And there is no such thing as unidentified potential gear now. Potential is just always revealed. That's why your inventory, aside from the new UI, might look a lot different than it used to.